The year 2018, having accomplished one of my toughest goals, but very broke, getting into my 4th year without a job, my platform was clear. Looking back, all I could see were great lessons that nobody could teach me. Full of energy, my confidence sky high, content-wise, skill-wise when it came to mathematics, top-notch. My brand at Doc Mathematics became a true reality for me. I had to venture fully into being the CEO of my brand, which meant I had to sacrifice a lot for it. This came with a price that I had to pay, going into even a more tighter budget than never before, fully dependent on my family, and I was also prepared for working even more, just to be able to accomplish the required when it came to my brand. It really felt so good having something that I really loved to wake up to, which dwarfed all the challenges that I was going through. Good reading culture, first class, always pushing myself to the limit. Self-growth to me was mandatory. I had to strategize, taking my knowledge, my energy, my inspiration, my creativity through a Doc Mathematics to schools, then pursue my University of Nairobi dream and Aga Khan dream. So the period between January and March, I utilized going from school to school, issuing my business card with the intention of offering mathematics motivation around Mombasa town, spending most of my time at the library so I could plan my movements from there. I still issued my business card to potential customers. It's around that time that I made my trip to Nairobi. Aim, pay a visit to one of the TV stations, looking for a breakthrough. I had worked for it. I just wanted to inspire my country with my story. Didn't get to do it. Back in Mombasa, I continued with my work. Visited a few schools, but with no response afterwards. And that's when I landed at Aga Khan School, this time with my brand and mathematics motivation as the main item of service. The principal listened very keenly to my story, appreciated my fight, and it's at that meeting that I got to learn about the thing that I should do going forward to be able to offer my services better. The critical one, documentation by the Ministry of Education. I pursued that first at the provincial headquarters office, where I was directed to go to the Ministry of Education headquarters in Jogo House, where I made my trip the day that followed. How could I maximize on the trip? I had an agenda. Go to the Ministry of Education, then pursue my dream of joining University of Nairobi, and also visit HELB offices. I needed to know what they offered. I remember saying to my family, this is it. Through Aga Khan School, I felt very well advised and that I was going for a trip that will change my life. I was very optimistic, very eager to express myself to the Ministry of Education and to finally get my brand to the next level. Didn't get what I wished to get, and that was a tough one. I remember sitting just adjacent to Jogo House, Harambee Avenue. I shed tears, enough tears that ended up washing my eyes, removing barriers in my eyes to the point that my focus was enhanced. I could see things far much ahead of me like never before. My vision was enhanced. I still had other things to pursue. I went to the University of Nairobi, where everything was positive. I submitted my application that very time. I also paid HELB, Higher Education Loans Board, a visit. I was just broke. I needed to know all the avenues of help that I could seek. The last thing that I did before ending my stay in Nairobi was this. I prepared my application letter to one of the international schools that I had researched on. At the gate, I tried to express myself, only to be told to submit my application online. And that was it for me. You do preparation, a lot of it, only for everything to end up just in minutes. On the positive side, everything I prepared myself, I gained something, even if I did not get what I wanted. Back at home in Taita, surrounded by four secondary schools, I paid a visit to two schools, my former school and another secondary school. I only got a chance in this other school where I requested to be allocated all the mathematics lessons for the week, and I used that together with the time I created after lunch to speak to the Form 4s through mathematics. By the time I was about to come up with another strategy, University of Nairobi came calling, and that is how I joined university to pursue Bachelor's of Education, Mathematics major and Physics under the Module 2 program on August 2018. I had achieved my dream. Before I left for home, after we were done with the lectures, schools reopened for the third term, I decided to do two things. The first one, I paid a visit to another TV station. The response wasn't that positive though. Then the second one, I visited Starehe Boys Center in preparation for 2019. I was received very well, shared my story with them, and left for home knowing that I had an application letter to send back to them through the post office. Back at home in September, while tuned to NTV, there was this leadership program with the speaker I got to know for the first time, John Maxwell. I remember his words that really touched me. Everything worthwhile is uphill. The only way to go uphill is to be intentional. Great words. That day, I knew I had the book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, to read, a must read for me. That period, with my bicycle as usual, I visited the school around, this time around with my application letter and my brand at Doc Mathematics. Mogogo Secondary, Masere, Voi Boys, among others. School closed. The third term was over around November. I traveled to Mombasa in preparation to later travel to Nairobi for the lectures. I visited Shimolateo Boys for the same application for consideration if they, by any chance, needed my services. Back in Nairobi, at the University of Nairobi for the lectures, I got to meet several students, former students at Shimolateo, in their second year while I was doing my first. And they got to tell me about how I inspired them. I was so touched by that. This time around, I made my last application of the year and the last of my application to this point that I'm sharing my story with you, to Lenana Boys. And this time around, I decided to stay in Nairobi full time, for it offered me a perfect platform for self-growth and to plan for my next right move. The year 2019, my 5th year, very broke. But then I was on a this is it mission. I knew very well I had big decisions to make for myself. Yes, I had to take full ownership of my time, the content that I read. I wanted to go 100% at Doc Mathematics to rise in the fullness of who I was becoming. I had seen it all when it came to relying on other people to provide for me an opportunity to make a stride in life, to discover me. But then I had one last thing to do. I had something to carry to the year 2019 from the year 2018. Starehe Boys. Since I did not get any call in regards to my applications, I visited the school in between the time I had begun a 9 to 9 program at the university. Made a couple of visits in about a week or so, but then I didn't get the chance that I had wanted, and that was it. I had to close that chapter. I had gotten used to walking long distances, and so I was fully prepared for another year of an even more tighter budget than never before. My biggest dilemma: University of Nairobi, my dream university, and then at Doc Mathematics, each slightly pulling in a different direction. I had to seek alignment. I needed more time to myself to think and to think deeply on my next calculated, well-thought right move. The reason as to why I came up with the 9 to 9 strategy. Time that I dedicated to being at the Jomo Kenyatta Memorial Library at the University of Nairobi and at lecture rooms on weekends. I had exams in April of that year that needed preparation. I also had great questions in my mind that needed answers to. I have never been that busy in my life, looking back, than that time. In spite of having the university content in mathematics and physics, I still had content well fitting for my brand at Doc Mathematics to go through. I had to study the lives of successful people, the likes of Bill Gates, Dr. Miles Monroe, Cristiano Ronaldo, Martin Luther King Jr., Oprah Winfrey, Steve Harvey, Barack Obama, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and our very own, the now late Bob Collymore, Dr. Chris Kirubi. The list is endless, just to get the conviction and the mindset of high achievers. I did the exam in April 2019, and although I felt dead, my brain almost going to a complete stop, I was back at the library for the period May to August. I had to place at Doc Mathematics at the table, gave my heart and mind to it, and my next right move got so clear to me to the point that any opinion apart from what I had was a distraction. This is Doctor at 30, CEO at Doc Mathematics. The why. Why my story? Number one, I want to show the youth out there and anyone pursuing his or her dream that it's possible. Number two, I want to also show that we can indeed earn success through hard work and dedication to purpose. We don't have to be corrupt. Grow into something positive that impacts the world positively. Number three, I want to show the reason as to why you should not give up. The only person that I rank a failure is one that has given up, because nothing positive grows from that mindset. It may not happen the way you want it to happen at that instance, but it always gets good if you keep trying, and the result is actually success itself. Number 4, I want to see more respect given to those who invest their time and money to study, and more so, support to those who do so. The challenges that are ahead of us necessitates that we do so. Number 5, I want to inspire people to rise to their true passions. No challenge should limit you from what you are passionate about. Give the world something positive. The last one, number 6, don't kill self because of grades. Grow into your purpose and serve the world with it. My investment. I want you to spend some time to check on my grades for the 5 times that I have faced the KCSE exam. Looking at my grades for the year 2007, if you look at the column of mathematics, I got a D-, and then I got a C+ in physics. Then the rest of the subjects, I got the grades as you can see. Then in the year 2008, I only managed to do 3 subjects. That is mathematics, English, and business studies. So I did not make any improvement in business studies. So I had made the improvement in English from a D+ to a C- to a grade C. Then I moved my mathematics grade from a D- to a C-. Now this improvement in these 2 subjects, this is what enabled me to go to college in the year 2009. And then in 2015, after I went back for the KCSE exam for the 3rd time, I did all the 7 subjects again. So this time I had a C+ in mathematics and a grade D in physics. So it meant that I had dropped in physics. And then in the year 2016, my mathematics now moved from a C+ to a B+. I still got the same grade D in physics. So in these 2 years, it meant that I didn't even get that combination that I had wanted for the degree. But then in the year 2017, after I sacrificed everything, that's when I was able to get the grade A in mathematics and the grade B- in physics. And that was it for me. Now, looking at this, I've had to commit a lot of my time into it. It's not easy because I had to sacrifice a lot of jobs that I could pursue so that I created time to study. Then I've had to use my thinking a lot because a lot of what you see has been deliberated so as to achieve my dreams. Let me take you through some of the books that I invested in and the amount of work that I had to go through, specifically in mathematics and self-growth. Looking at this, I've got this book here, Solving Mathematics. This is KCSE Mathematics, that's paper 1. Then I have the book for paper 2. Then this other one is the KCSE Made Familiar. Now this is the book that I can comfortably say that I went through everything in this book. And the content that I went through is in this book of mine here. This book here has all the topics that I had done in relation to that book, Made Familiar. All the topics, all the questions that I went through are in this book. And then, in relation to personal, to self-growth, I went through these other books. Now, looking at this, I've got the mathematics books that I went through. Then these are the books that I normally write my short notes in relation to self-growth. And maybe something with that I want to capture is the 3 books that I was given by Pepe Minambo in 2015. I've got The Game Changer. Then there's this other one here, Deciding Your Destiny. Then there's this other one, You Can Dream Again. These are the books that changed my life. So I've done a lot of mathematics. From what you can see here, I've gone through all these books. And indeed, there is still much more. This is just a few of the things that I've gone through in relation to my personal drive. Now, when I talk of misunderstanding, this is part of it. This is me. People are looking for the degrees. George Bernard said these words that inspire me. He said this, that the people that make it in life, they look around for circumstances that they want. And if they can't find them, they create them. This is Docta at Doc Mathematics. The grade A approach to life necessitates that, 1, you get to know your abilities, your talents, the original you. 2, that you get to pick from the system something vital that you feel can create work for you. 3, that you own your successes and failures. The 4th one, that you understand that it is not much about the grades that you get in school, but your purpose. The 5th one, that you go first class on anything that you do. Give the best always. The 6th one, that you know that self-growth is key. The 7th one, that you do what it takes, including putting the sacrifice required to succeed. The 8th one, that you don't give up. Fail your way to success. The 9th one, that you have self-belief and self-drive to be able to shut out all distractions and route your destination. The 10th one, that you get to rise in the fullness of your purpose so that you give the world the best service, make the world better so that we can enjoy your gifts. The last one, that you follow the success principles, put in the work required, and work your way to success, corruption-free. My inspiration. I can comfortably say that my inspiration has been Cristiano Ronaldo, the guy who made me fall in love with football. He made me love Manchester United back in 2005, but then he left me there. But then, a big part of me is always still with him wherever he is. First of all, he had one of the biggest names in football. I had one of the biggest names when it comes to education. At that time, when things were not going well for me academically in relation to my dreams, this is the guy who brought me a lot of happiness. I have lived to love his game. I have lived to see myself in him, building my own winning mentality all through. He has always played in the Champions League, and I've always, in my own way, played in the League of Champions. It's about winning. There is much that I can talk about here, but in brief I can say that I have learnt a lot from him, especially on physical fitness, which has also been a part of me. The aspect of doing extra. Great words that I always remember about him, he said this: I don't do the kind of work because I have to. It's part of me. That is in my thought process too. Now, what inspired me to come up with the brand name at Doc Mathematics is the brand CR7. CR7 in relation to what he does, at Doc Mathematics in relation to what I do. He is to me the true definition of what working hard can achieve, and I'm always fully inspired to also work hard than the rest. My brand at Doc Mathematics. This has been a huge positive for me. If there is something that has provided me with the momentum to keep moving, is my brand at Doc Mathematics. It gives me something to wake up to. It keeps me on track. It gives me a platform to give back and to showcase who I really am as a person and to grow in the position of my dreams, CEO. Maybe to one of the biggest companies in the world in the future. As the CEO for my brand, it allows me to keep growing my value, and that's a good thing. My life's graph. Looking at this is a line graph of progress against years. In the x-axis, I've got 3 letters. P representing primary, S representing secondary, and then L representing life. Looking at this graph again, the nature of the line is in form of a tick, and this tick to me shows that I got it right, that everything is all right. That's a tick. How I wish you will be able to do the exact thing that I did for any setback, for any form of failure that you encounter. Failure should only shift your line of progress, but should not limit your progress. Make sure to get a tick always. Now, looking at this graph, I did not progress just like that. So many factors played a role in me getting to where I am as a person. Number 1, my family. The support has been massive throughout, including in Nairobi, where they've been my hosts for all the visits that I made there. A huge tick, my special thanks. Number 2, my primary school, Mwakiki Primary, provided me with a cool platform to realize my mathematics dream. Number 3, my secondary school. Despite my personal challenge, I left there with the school motto in my mind, Ujasiri hushinda. Maybe in English I can say, courage wins. And indeed, most of my classmates and schoolmates have gone on to achieve great things in life. That's a huge positive. They just do it. That's where my respect for the school came in. Because of it, we rise. You can't lose everything. Indeed, there is positivity wherever you go. Maybe sometimes you don't get to see it at that particular time. Number 4, Shimo Lateo Boys. Thank you very much for the wonderful experience, for being there when I needed support the most. Number 5, Aga Khan Schools. In you, I saw something to dream about. In you, I saw something to fight for. I pursued exactly that. In my fight to get to meet the standards required of a mathematics teacher, as per your standards, I saw the staircase to progress. And because of that, I rose. I always left there inspired. The future is bright. My dream made me rise. Thank you very much. Number 6, the Teachers Service Commission, TSC. Had I not gotten my TSC number, that could have shattered my mathematics dream in a big way. But I felt as if you believed in me. That's huge. Thank you very much. Number 7, Kenya National Examination Council, NEC. First, the upgrading program. The very person who came up with that idea, that's cool. It's through it that I got a chance to rise to the best version of myself, including joining college against all odds. And your cooperation to me finally getting my TSC number. Number 8, Dr. Fred Matiang'i. The exam environment, the year 2016 and 2017, was a huge positive. Deep inside my heart, I always felt like you just came to rescue me and only left when I was done and happy. Thank you very much. There is one big lesson that we can learn from this. When the system is right, it gives rise to positive things that do change the world. But when the system is shambolic, the results are dire. Number 9, University of Nairobi. Thank you so much for showing me the way to getting there. That powered my momentum a big way. And finally, I achieved my dream. Thank you very much. The future is bright. But then, you don't get to have the tick just like that. There is a reason. I have always had people who always showed me the next step to making it up the ladder all the time. But then it requires a positive mind to be able to see the direction you are being led to go. It's positive thinking that will always sail you through. And like Zig Ziglar once said, positive thinking will make you use the qualities which you have. And that brings about massive growth. My lessons. Being broke doesn't mean you're broken. Keep moving. Being rejected doesn't mean you are ejected. Keep moving. Even if it's bitter, it doesn't mean it won't get better. Keep moving. When it gets tougher, you may not love it, but live it. Keep moving. And as Martin Luther King Jr. once said, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving. The struggle. If there is something that I've had to cope with throughout my life, is being misunderstood. Born with an instinct for quality, visionary, talented, then combining that with my mathematics brain, then that's my value. Do I have to lower the quality of what I offer to fit in? That's where quality meets insubordination. This is my biggest mystery. I have been referred to as a failure by many on many occasions, but I've kept on going. I've never fallen to their opinions. I define failure differently, and I stick to that. And because of that, I act differently. anyone talented out here knows that it comes with a lot of creativity in our minds. Try to imagine this. I am trying to be creative, and then you limit that. My brain is not wired for small projects. I am never happy in that environment. Since the year 2008, my journey has been tough. I have always operated through consultation on whether I will make the next stride in life towards my dreams or not. But then everything has always been positive for me. But then I still don't know how many times I will fail. But all I know is I just need to get it right once, and that's it. I'd rather die empty but passionately. My belief is always this: it will be good in the end. I will leave you with these words by Ralph Waldo Emerson that captured the true struggle. Here's what he said: to be yourself in a world that is trying to make you someone else is the greatest accomplishment.